Hi, I'm Alexis,
And I'm Anna,
and today we are talking about the effects of phone usage on teenagers.
such as social media, screen time, and how phones affect people in real life.
All right, we're going to get right into it. So, social media is like a big part of our lives, and almost every teenager, I think, has some kind of social media platform that they use to scroll. Either they don't even have to post on it; they can they're just scrolling.
Yeah, through other people's posts. And I find myself scrolling through something every single day, at least once a day.
Yeah.
Just scrolling through TikTok or Instagram or something.
Yeah, and it's every time you get bored, it's oh, what do I do? Go on TikTok.
Yeah, literally.
Go on Instagram.
It's so addicting, and I don't know what else I'm supposed to do.
It is.
Without it,
and
which is really sad.
Yeah, and it's the fact that we still do it and we know that it's bad for our brains.
Yeah.
We know it's instead of, oh, I could be reading a book or I could be studying or something, but no, it's I want to get on TikTok. It's it's just right there. It's takes no effort to just get on it.
Yeah,
and then just watch people.
Because for me, it's just if you go to through a long day of school and then you go to a game or something, then you say, oh, I earned this rest or whatever. But instead of doing something you genuinely enjoy, going to the store, I don't know, just painting or reading a book, that's calming, it's relaxing. But instead you just scroll through your phone, which actually can be draining instead of helping you from that long day of school, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
And it really is, because instead you could be doing anything else, but it's gotta pick up my phone and look at this.
Yeah, for real.
There's so many studies that have been researched about how it affects your brain, and one of the recent ones is a UCLA brain mapping center actually found that certain regions of teens' brains become activated by likes on social media, which causes them to want to be on social media a lot more and want that feeling of getting a like, or oh, love this, and then it just makes them feel good about themselves. And it's if they get a negative comment, they're just so down they'll even be so much positive, but they'll just find that one negative, and then it's they're so hurt and they're so oh, I hate myself. And it's just so bad.
And it really just affects your mental health and causes an increased risk of depression, anxiety, loneliness, and even self-harm.
And it makes you so self-conscious about yourself. So many people seeing these influencers on TikTok and Instagram, and they're just oh, they have such perfect bodies, and it's all the comments are oh, you're so beautiful, and it's just they just kind of make them feel bad about themselves.
Yeah, and then some people suffer from body dysmorphia, although it only affects 1.7 to 2.9% of the general population. That's not really a large percentage, but it's still out there. And although it can have many harmful effects, social media can, like we said before, be very addicting, which leads us into our next topic about screen time.
So, being teens in the 21st century, we find ourselves being on our phones a lot, especially since COVID happened and we're stuck in our houses quarantined for a year.
Yeah,
since 2020, and it's kind of embarrassing how much time we spend on our phones.
Yeah, I'm really embarrassed. We're checking our screen times right now, and I'm at 5 hours a day on my phone.
Yeah, I'm at about the same, 4 hours.
Yeah, and some people have higher screen times than that, and that's okay. But just think about if we spent that time doing something more productive. If I spent 5 hours a day reading a book or cooking, I would be a lot better off.
Yeah, and studying for that test, and finals are coming up. I mean, for us, we're still in school, and but
5 hours
finals
is a lot of time.
We could literally be studying for finals or something way more important.
And being on our phone so much affects the way we communicate with people, and overall just affects our relationships.
Yeah, yeah, like, whenever, like, we were younger, you would go over to your neighbors and you would just be like and just play with them because that was fun, and you would never just text and be like, "Oh, are you home? Oh, do you wanna hang out?" Like, I mean, yeah,
You
okay,
just
so
go.
that is, like, a plus, I guess. I mean, for, like, older kids, but, like, I mean,
I
whenever
would
we were
just
younger and you would just,
yeah.
like, you would see them outside and you're like, "Oh, hey, oh my god, let's play together, let's go ride our bikes together or something,"
And now we just sit in our rooms on
and
our phones.
yeah, and it's just boring. Like, I remember, I had this one friend, and I would always, like, go over to her house. Every time I saw her outside, I would go over and we would just jump on our trampoline together, and it was just so fun. And, like, now it's just, like, you if you do that, it would be, like, you're almost thinking of it as, like, "Oh, that's so embarrassing. I don't wanna do that." Or, like, they'll be right across the room from you, and you'll be, like, texting them, like, "Do you wanna do this?" Instead of going over there and asking them.
Yeah. But there's also some positive effects with phones on relationships. Like you can find new friends, or you can keep in touch with old friends who have moved away, or just keep in touch with school friends during a pandemic.
Yeah, and I say, like, the keeping in touch with friends who've moved away is definitely a plus with social media because like back then you would write a letter, it would take, if they were halfway across the country, it would take, like weeks before they would get it. And it's like now you can send a message like instantly. And then they receive it instantly. And it's like such an advantage that we have now with social media.
So there are a lot of positive effects that we didn't get to mention in our podcast today, but there are still those negative effects, and you can decrease the negative impacts on you. You can set a screen time or put on do not disturb and go do something productive.
Sadly, that is the end of our podcast, but thank you all for listening. This is Alexis
And Anna,
out.